Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to be playing with my stamps and using the watercolor pencils to stamp with. Now I played with this. This was my attempt to do it. I'm using my palette papers, and I've got the bird, and I stamped the stitches stamp and a word, and I painted around the outside. But I have a special thing that I also created to help me with this. I'm going to show you that. So this is it. This is my version of those stamping tools that you can buy. And I have clear acrylic that I can cut in my, excuse me, my laser cutter that I do my other part of my Etsy store for. And so I had this clear acrylic that I didn't really use for much. And so I cut a 6x6 square. I added a 1/2 inch so I could put the tape on there. I did engrave some lines in there, and then I painted with them black in there so it won't come out. I did both of them. They're on the outside, so I actually could do it either way, but I have lines in there. I did put a hole in there. I thought I was going to put like some sort of string to be able to lift it out, but after I played with it a little bit, I realized I never actually needed the hole for that. So yeah, kind of excited to show you how this ended up working for me. So I have cut a piece of that same yellow palette paper, and now I know a lot of those, I have the white under here just to so you can see the lines, but also kind of as a blocking in case something goes over it, but it shouldn't. I made the line so that if I want to line something up with something else, I can, or do it another direction. So I'm going to use some washi tape. Now, when I first, this might be unsticky, I rolled it onto itself here just to get it to stick a little bit so it doesn't slide too much. And I'm just going to line it up with the lines so I know it's straight. There we go. And there we go. Now I did another one of my first ones, where I was playing with a bunch of stamps, and I did put the tape like on top of there to glue it, but since this was so much smaller, when I did the prototype for that, this one, I decided I didn't want to put the tape because there was not as much room for it, so I put the tape underneath. Okay, so I did this example one with birds, so let's try this one with a butterfly. So we're gonna do a butterfly, and it needs to go this way because it's stamped on that side, and that's the solid part. And should I put a flower on there too, or a second butterfly? You know what, let's do a second butterfly. I got that one and this one, and I could still put like something down there where it's sharp. So you've probably seen these stamp things work, so I'm just going to go ahead and push it on this side, and look at that, it actually works. I was so excited when I did it the first time. I'm like, look at that. Okay, but the real reason that I'm here, not necessarily to show you my gizmo that I made, but to show you how these watercolor pencils work with these. So the first thing I did was to do the outline on here, and I'm using the VersaFine Clair, and I'm just throwing a little bit of the lighter gray on there just to do like a coloring book where you stamp it and you know where to color. So I'm going to leave that there because then I can go, after I color it, stamp on top of it to make it look better. Now I do have, because I got my water brushes and my variety of crayons here. So let's see. Let's start with, well, like I say, monarch butterflies tend to be kind of orange, so let's start with marmalade. So with these, you can do it a couple different ways. I had those paint palettes that I made, which are working pretty good, but for now, I'm just gonna use my tip of it and paint with it. And if you use less water, you're gonna get this really nice dark color for it. But I'm going to show you the other way to do it, after I get this orange. Now, you're probably hard to tell, but I'm not really being too careful with it. I am kind of painting in the black, but when I stamp on top of it, I will be able to kind of recover over it. So the other way to do it is to take and just draw on here and then add water. So let's do, I got purple over here. Let's do purple. Purple's pretty with that. So I got wilted violet. So you can take, these are pretty sharp from when I made my palettes. You can take the color where you want. Gotta blow off the extra chunks. And then take the pencil or a water brush and spread it out. And we can add some purple down there if we wanted to. I'm just going to take it from a pencil. There we go. It's a lighter purple. And what color should we do? Let's do a bluish green, like a turquoise. I got it like a turquoise, right? I got peacock feathers. Let's do peacock feathers. And we'll just put a little bit of peacock feathers on there. There we go. And it's thinner paper, so I don't want to put too much on there. I'm just going to put a little blue up here. And for its body. Yeah, cute. All right, so then I'm going to clean my brush off a little bit here. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to restamp on top of it with the same VersaFine Clair. And we're going to put that on there. Now, if I wanted it really crisp and dark, I could use my black one. I probably should wait till that dries. But, you know, in times of need, I need to get one of those heat guns. I keep telling myself I need to look and see. Unfortunately, you know, I like to see how much these were, and so they were like 20 some bucks, and I make it. I don't think I can make a heat gun. And I do have a hair dryer. I could probably use that in its place. All right, look at that, beautiful. So it's darker image, and it covered on top of that. And it's still wet over there because it ran a little too much water for that, but there you go. All right, so that was how I used that. And let's put the butterflies back. And so I'm going to show you the other way to attach some of this stuff. Now I do have this fun like paint swoop thing that I'm going to use. And we'll go ahead and put it right there. Now, one of the ways to do that is to paint right on these. And let's do some green. Let's do crushed olive. Now, the best way I found to do it is just to dip it a little bit in water and draw on here, because you definitely don't want too much water on these to go. So we're gonna color it the best we can. And hopefully that there was enough water on there. Just put a little bit more. But what's nice about this now is, since it's trial and error, I could re-ink it, restamp it, and push it. Now you're not going to get as clear a print as you would if you had the stamp. Yes, I didn't have enough. But I got started. Now I could also use taking it this way and painting it on, but I found that you get a little too much water this way. I liked doing it straight from the crayon better. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and flip it back. That should be good. But as I was saying, I think I stopped. You're not going to get as crisp a print doing it this way as you would if you had an ink pad. But there you go. Not too bad. It's hard to totally see. It's wet, but it's a sploosh mark. And if I wanted to do another sploosh mark, say over here, I can move it, and we'll add a bit. We'll get my green back and color a little bit more. I think it is a little bit of trial and error to figure out how much water and how much to paint. It's also a little harder to see the color on there. I know you can see the green that's there, but how transparent is it? It's a little harder to see. Excuse me, I'm not sure why my voice is cracking. There we go. And need a new cleaner for it. We'll clean that off, and there we go. Find a home for that. Okay, so I did find out that you can use these kind of red stamps on here also. So let's see what we can put for down here. Put a little word down there, and we're gonna do identification. So same thing, we're just gonna end up putting it, I'm gonna put it actually to the side. So it's in the swoop and then out of the swoop. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing with the paint stick and go from there. And I think I'm gonna do a blue. Blue and yellow always looks nice together. So what about faded jeans? All right, so again, I'm gonna just, you probably can't see it, I have a little cup of water to the side here. And I'm just dipping the pencil in the tip just to get it wet. And we're just gonna put it on its side and we're gonna draw. And you can kind of see that it stops spreading, so just gonna dip it again. And we'll go ahead and draw on here again. And we'll do one last little hurrah. So, I mean, it is more time consuming than having a stamp, but I think I said when I bought these is I was never gonna own all these colors in Tim Holtz stamps ever, because they're like, you know, $5 each. There's, you know, all these 72 colors, and I have about 12, so 60 times 5 is what, $300? So not perfect, definitely a little bit more oh, what you want to call it, sparse, but again, you can take, if you don't like it, and you can go over it again and stamp the second time. Oops. Now, the wetter you get, the more you're going to get a halo of color and not clear. So you got to keep that in mind. It is definitely more of a, and I'm going to let it dry, and I think it's going to be okay when it dries. But the other thing you could do, I noticed, clean this off a bit, and I got my dry paper, dry a little bit, is you could take a second color if you wanted to, and ink on top of that. Like say you wanted to go ahead and use your VersaFine because it's kind of smooched. So you have the color in the background. And again, I probably should be waiting until this is dry. But it's hard to see, but it added a little black outline to it and crisped it up a little bit. So again, this is all just play, what you can do to have some fun with some stamps. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of little background stamp here. I got some words, and I think, let me put this away first. And I'm just going to use, I think I'm going to use my regular brown. And I'm just going to use, is there an up or down on this? I'm just going to use this to add a little bit of background to it. Yeah, just to add a little bit of something to it. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a border in a paint color, and I think I should make it like a orange. So I have, let's use a little crackling campfire, and I'm going to use my brush for this. Just to add a little bit of border, kind of like how you would ink a border. And it's going to dry a little lighter, so I am okay with the darkness there. Beautiful. Try that off. Okay, now it is wet. Probably shouldn't move it, but I just want to show you. I'm just going to clean that off real quick. And the other thing I did, the reason I put the lines that were on this side is because now this side is smooth. So if I have to clean it off, it's, you know, pretty easy to clean. And the other thing I really liked about this is if I did want to add some sort of extra highlights to it, make something a little bit, I'll take this one here, as this one's drying. If I wanted to use this, I can also use it as a color palette. Let's add a little purple. I can, it's hard to see, but there's some, I'm putting a little bit of color on there, and I can take my brush and mix up a little bit of paint. I can also do it the way for the, and I don't need a lot, just the tiniest a bit. And you just think, I said when I got this, I mean, look how much color I'm taking off of here. How long are these crayons going to last me? But so if I want to add the border like I did on that one, and what did I use? Wilted violet. I don't know if I have two purples. I don't know if I have wilted violet. I don't think I do. I know I have that villainous poison one. And we're just going to take a little bit more. So you can really control how much you start with. And again, I do have those palettes that I can use and wet those. But for a quick edging project, because I want some purple on here, there we go. Clean it off. Clean my brush off. And now I've got a beautiful purple edge of wilted violet. Let me check. I have, oh, I do have wilted violet. I should have picked a different color, but you get my gist. I don't have shaded lilac as a stamp, so if I wanted shaded lilac on the side, I could have done the same thing. So I have every color at my disposal to do that with. Now, is it the same as, you know, taking, you know, the ink pad with your little thing and, you know, throwing some ink on there? No, it's not the same. I'm going to add a little bit to it, though, while I'm doing it. There we go. Yeah, I like it. All right, what else can I stamp? All right, I've got this that I can make a tag out of. And I think I'm going to just, I got my border stamps. I'm just going to put a little bit of tape up there. Set tape on the other side. I did pick one of my uglier washies that I'll probably never ever use. And I have a whole box of them, so I wasn't too worried about it. But I have these border stamps. And let's do this one. Yeah, let's do that one. So I can make a fun little border. All right. Now I'm going to be doing that rainbow journal. So should I do some sort of a, look how pretty that's turning out with the ink on the side. I just happened to glance up and notice. Very fun. What if I did like a rainbow border, and this is not straight. I can see my little lines there, so I'm gonna make it straight with the line there. All right, so we're gonna start with red candied apple, and I think look at me, I'm doing it backwards. I think I am gonna do one color at a time here. I got 2 squares. Now that's how I'll keep it in mind. I got 2 squares. I'll go like that. Too much water. So I'm gonna let that dry. And it's interesting because there's like an orange on there. And I put a little drier crayon on there and see if I can get, you can see it a little bit better with the circles. Okay, red, orange, let's do persimmon. Put a little bit of water on there, and I'm going to do the next 2 squares. I probably should count. And I'm going to go a little bit in the square above, just to kind of over it. And we'll do it a little bit more. Should probably put that water cup a little closer to me. Okay, and yellow. Look how much color was on there. All right, let's see how much that goes. And a little bit more water. And again, this is all experiments. It's a little piece of paper, probably too much water. It's a piece of paper. Okay, red, orange, yellow, green. And I think a brighter, fun green. Mowed lawn is a good, fun, bright green. All right, let's see how that one goes. That's not too bad. Beautiful, I love it. All right, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and all right, salty ocean, gotta be. All right, let's take some of this. I'm gonna be able to save this for something in the journal. Okay, blue. All right, blue. Oh, that one came out nice. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at it. That last batch I didn't press as hard. I did more of a lighter thing, and I think it stuck more on the top. I could be imagining it, but could be the color. Okay, purple, and let's go with Blueprint Sketch. This looks like a fun purple. I don't think I've ever used this one. And we're a little too wet. Yeah, lightly kind of going over it, not really pushing hard. Okay, oops. And down. Beautiful. I love it. Now, could I have probably done that with a regular stamp pad? Probably, especially the little ones, for sure. But fun. Now, like I said, this is a little bit more watery up there, so maybe I could go back in with my red one more time and just do like I was doing the lighter. It's really kind of hard to see. The red is also, I think, a part of the problem is it's a red stamp. So you're trying to put red on red, and like you don't know exactly where you've put it. Whereas when I was doing the blues and the purples, a little bit easier to see. Not too bad. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit more on the orange. See if I can get a little bit with the lighter touch. I like keeping them forward like that for two reasons. I know which ones I used, and secondly, I'm letting them dry before I put them inside the little box there. Oh, that came out much better, right? Cute. I like it. So now I can either, I can get a new stamp and stamp something over here, or I can find my stamp pad, there it is, or I can add focal point there at some point for it, words across it to stamp, but I think I'm just gonna, since I'm not sure what I'm gonna put in there, I think I'm just gonna leave it. And I can use these a couple times. They do stay sticky for a little bit. But clean off the edge and what I missed, and very fun. So I love it. I mean, I'm so happy that I decided to make this. Too much fun. Okay, well, I think that is going to be it. Like I said, my main purpose of this was to show how you can take any of your stamps, clear ones or red ones, and be able to paint on it and, yeah, just go from there and use it to stamp with and have a wide variety of colors. I love it. I lost my birds, though. There's a bird. And the butterfly. Yeah, so you can see when it's dried, those watercolors are just so cool. It did blend in because I used the oxide ink for the word stamp, so it did blend in a little bit for that. Kind of like for this one, it blended in because I excuse me, I stamped it on wet, so it blended a little bit more. But you can see the double stamp of that identification where the black ended up going. Actually worked out pretty good. Just looks very old and weathered. Like I said, this was my play. This I don't think I'll use for anything. I might tear it up or cut small pieces out to use for it. But yeah, so I'm excited to use this one eventually as a piece of ephemera, making something with it. So yeah. Okay, well that is going to be it for me me today in playing with this. I hope you enjoyed it and got some ideas if you did end up getting these crayons, what you can use them for and how many things you can use them for. Got my paper. You can see there's a little bit of color on that from going next to something, but that's why I try to keep them out to dry, and they're pretty well dry. Okay, that is going to be it for me today. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I had got an idea when I thought about doing this. I originally thought of using these, which are the covers for these, because they are very thick plastic. So I was thinking I could probably somehow attach these. They come with this like lip that got pushed in there to cover it. Somehow attach those two lips together that are angled and be able to use this, tape them together somehow, and be able to use this as some sort of flip to do a stamp. So if you do get these and have them, these pieces of plastic I think would be strong enough to be able to use as a stamping block because they are thicker. So that's just a thought and idea for people who don't have, you know, stamping blocks. And I did see somebody that got acrylic from like a hardware store to make theirs. And you can cut with like a straight edge and glued them together. That's where got me an idea to when I made my own, because I saw they had made it out of a clear acrylic. But like I said, I always want to go above and beyond, and I wanted the grid lines on there. So I can tell it's already getting dirty, but I think it's going to be well used and loved. Okay, well now it is finally all for me today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. I love to answer and chat with you guys and see what you're making and any inspiration you get from stuff I made. So, okay, that is finally it for me today. Thanks so much for stopping by, and as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.